So I'll have you start lying down again for our stretch and de-stress class. It's really nice if you have something that you can place under your head because it makes quite a big difference in terms of calming the nervous system. If you have something hard under your head, it's not quite as relaxing, even as hard as the mat, the floor, not quite as relaxing as it would be if you had like a blanket or a pillow or even a folded up towel. Right, so come lying down onto the mat, kind of Shavasana style, unless you've got low back issues, in which case you would maybe keep the knees bent. That might be a bit more comfortable, but otherwise this time extend the legs straight ahead and you can let the feet just kind of drop out to the sides. Bring the hands to rest on or close to the belly and widen across your collarbones. Allow the backs of the shoulders to release towards the floor. Close the eyes and take a moment to just arrive. So hopefully you have managed to carve out a little bit of space where you won't be interrupted. And you can remind yourself that for the next hour, there's nowhere else that you need to be and nothing else that you need to do. And so give yourself the permission to be fully present. Without changing anything with your posture, just notice the natural curves of the spine. Feel the weight of your hands on your belly or hips. Feel the downward pull of gravity on the upper thighs. Soften and relax the knees, shins and ankles. Feel the weight of your head on the mat. And soften the cranial bones, soften the cheekbones and your jaw, unclench the teeth. Soften all of the muscles of the face. And bring your awareness to your breath. You don't have to change the breath right away, but just notice your natural pattern. Maybe you count your natural inhale or exhale. And just so you know, it's not supposed to be the deep sort of breathing that we do in the practice of yoga. You wouldn't do that in the course of a day simply because it would be quite inefficient. So the breath will be a little bit faster in the day, but now when you're looking to calm and settle and focus the mind, we lengthen the breath out. If the hands are on the belly, you can feel the rise of the belly as you breathe in beneath your hands. Exhale, feel the weight of your hands on the belly, softening it towards the floor. And you don't have to push down. Just the pull of gravity will draw the weight of the hands downwards into the abdomen. Inhale, bypass the chest, bypass the rib cage, draw the breath deep into the lower belly, feel the belly rise beneath your hands. And exhale to find that softening, heaviness, groundedness, navel towards the spine. So it's very likely that simply landing on the mat at this time of night, when you know that you're practicing yoga, you've already invoked a calm state of mind. Breathe in for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 6. So taking that exhalation a little bit further. At the very end of your exhale, feel your deep core abdominals contract. Inhale, lower belly, side ribs, collarbones. Exhale, feel everything drawing in towards the midline. Breathe in for 4. And exhale for 6. 2 more times like that. And allow your breath to settle into a more natural rhythm. Walk your heels in towards each other, feet side by side. Stretch the arms up overhead with an inhale. Come into a nice long stretch. Right hand takes your left wrist, hinge over to the right. So we'll do a full body stretch tonight, but with a little bit of extra focus on the neck and shoulders, where a lot of people tend to hold tightness, tension. Walk your feet out over to the right. Cross your left ankle on top of the right one. Squeeze the legs in towards each other. Find a stretch along the outer left side body, maybe into the left hip. But if you're softening the outer left shoulder down, then you take that stretch right up along the rib cage and into the back of the shoulder. And walk your way back through center. Uncross the ankles. Hinge over to your left. The left hand takes the right wrist. Breathe into the right rib cage. Soften the outer right shoulder down. And walk your feet out over to the left. Cross the right ankle on top of the left. Squeeze the legs in towards each other. And inhale, come back to center. Uncross the ankles and interlace the hands in behind your head. Tuck the chin in towards your chest. Press forward with the feet. And just allow the weight of your head to drop back into the hands. Draw the skin of the scalp towards the wall behind you. See if you can find a stretch through the back of the neck. Then take your awareness to your breath, and as you inhale, press your back ribs into the mat. Exhale, feel the belly dropping down towards the spine, your lower back, and the lower back moving towards the floor. Inhale, the mid back, the back ribs pressing into the floor. And exhale, belly softens towards the lower back towards the mat. Take your gaze over to the right. So chin moves towards your inner right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Chin towards the inner left shoulder. Come back to center, lower the head down, lower the arms down, walk your heels in towards your hips. Feet hip width distance apart, scoop your tailbone under, press your low back into the floor. Root down through the feet, take an inhale. Now drag the heels towards the shoulders, so you're using your hamstrings to support the pose. Feel your outer hips lift up, so the structure of the outer hips lifting up, belly dropping down towards the spine. Press the backs of the shoulders down and draw the chin away from the chest, but keep the chest moving in the direction of the chin. Stretch your right arm overhead until the back of the hand comes to the mat. Lift your head up, draw the left ear towards the floor. Gently pressing your knees forward while the right fingertips stretch back. So find this opposition of movement. Inhale back to center, lower your right arm down, stretch your left arm up overhead. Pick your head up, draw the right ear towards the floor. So if you can, keep chin parallel to the floor, not dropping down towards the right shoulder. And as you stretch back through the left fingertips, the knees glide forward. And come back to center, lower the left arm down. curl down one vertebra at a time. Try to feel your lower back releasing towards the mat. And again, root down through the feet, lift your hips up. Now you can interlace your hands behind your back, shimmy the shoulders in towards each other so that you're taking all of the weight on the backs of the arms from the fingertips to the upper shoulders. Press the arms downwards into the floor. And if this does not make your shoulders happy, then of course you would just release the arms and have them down alongside of the body as you did before. Press your knees forward, draw the chin away from the chest, lift from the outer hips. Then release your arms and curl down one vertebra at a time. Drop both knees out over to the right. Stretch the arms out into a T shape. Feel your left knee dropping down towards the floor and look to the left. Swing the legs back up to center, drop them over to your left. Release the right knee down towards the earth and look to your right. Come back up through center. Bring both legs into the chest, have one hand on either knee, rock gently from side to side. Reach your right arm overhead, rock over onto your right side, press into your left hand, turn to face forward in a cross-legged position. Take the hands in behind the head. Press the back of the head into the hands, just a baby back bend. Draw the spine forward towards your heart center. Inhale. And as you exhale, chin to the chest, draw the elbows towards each other. Inhale, a baby back bend, focusing on the mid and upper back. Exhale and round, navel to the spine, chin to the chest. Last time, inhale and exhale. Come to center, take your right hand to the floor. Lift your gaze towards the ceiling. So the left hand is still supporting the weight of your head. You can draw the skin of the scalp towards that side wall. Shrug the right shoulder away from the ear. So bend the elbow, tuck it in towards the ribs. Drop the shoulder away from the ear. Keep your left knee moving towards the earth. Extend the arm along the plane of the cheek. Reach through the inner seam of the arm. So really find a nice long stretch through the inner arm if you're reaching with the ring and baby finger side of the hand. Now look down to the floor. Slowly start to lower your left arm down. Press through the heel of your hand and pause when you feel a stretch in through the forearm or the inner wrist or the neck. Then slide the arm all the way in behind your back. Squeeze the elbow back. Broaden across the collarbones. Push into your lower hand and rise all the way up. Take the right hand to the left knee, a gentle spinal twist facing left. Unwind back to center and change the crossing of your legs so that the other shin is in front. Extend your arms forward, interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles of the hands forward, draw the chin to the chest, and feel your shoulder blades separating away from the spine. So nice and broad across the upper back. And bring the gaze forward, turn your palms forward, inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Lock the elbows as best you can, squeeze the elbows in towards your ears. As much as you're pressing upwards with the palms of the hands, sitting bones are anchoring down. Now we'll take the hands in behind the head. Press the back of the head into the hands. So feel the neck muscles strengthening, not straining. Drop your left hand to the floor. Support the weight of your head with the right hand. Lift your gaze towards the sky. And bend the left elbow to shrug the shoulder away from the ear. And draw the skin of the scalp towards the side wall. Extend the arm along the plane of the cheek, reaching through the inner seam of the arm. Reach with the baby finger side and stretch as far as you can. Breathe into your right rib cage. Look down to the floor. Slowly start to lower your right arm down. Press through the heel of your hand. Pause whenever you feel a stretch that feels good. Slide that arm all the way in behind your back and draw the elbow back. Press into your lower hand and rise up for a gentle twist facing right. Tug against the knee to rotate your torso around. And unwind back to center. Swing your legs to the side, come onto the hands and the knees, spread out your fingers, and move through cat-cow, arching on the inhale. Exhale, round, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, release the belly towards the floor, the gaze forward. Exhale, chin to the chest. Full deep breath in. And a full deep breath out. Pause. Hover your knees above the mat. Half downward facing dog. Full downward dog, legs straight. And settle into your first downward facing dog. Maybe a little shift of your hips or pedaling the heels. But then find stillness. The heels hide behind the toes. Outer edges of the feet parallel with the outer sides of the mat. Now take your awareness to the upper portion of the torso because we want to, again, bring a little bit of focus in through the neck. And soften the outer shoulders down. Create a wrapping sensation as though you want to wrap that outer arm downwards to hide the armpits, if that makes sense. So rather than them opening upwards, really firm the elbows, draw them in towards your ears, soften the outer shoulders down, and notice how finding that strength in that portion of the upper torso creates length and lightness in the neck. Nod the head yes and no. And walk your hands to your feet, come to the back of the mat. Soften your knees, release the hamstrings, draw the belly close to the thighs, release the crown of the head towards the floor. Either keep your fingertips on the mat or opposite hand to elbow as you shift forward and back, heels to toes. And come to center and change the clasping of your arms. Other hand is on the bottom. Rock from side to side. And release the arms and start to curl your way up. One vertebra at a time. Come to standing, keep the arms down, but roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And don't rush that, so lift them right up, roll them all the way back and forward. Change the direction so that you're moving in the opposite way. And return to center. Bring your arms in behind you, interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders back and down, but keep the elbows deeply bent and attempt to squeeze the elbows towards each other. Now slide the backs of the thumbs against your tailbone. See if you can connect with kind of what I'm talking about here. Backs of the thumbs, or I guess it's the front of the thumbs, against the tailbone. Palms of the hands start to work their way in towards each other. Elbows stay bent. Squeeze the elbows back. Now you can use those thumbs to drop the tailbone down towards the space between your heels. So tops of the front, the thumbs pressing into the tailbone and down towards the floor. Then squeeze your elbows back towards each other. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. See if you can find some stretch in through the front of the shoulders. And at the same time, you're strengthening the mid-back muscles to support that opening of the front of the chest. Slowly straighten out the arms as you slide the thumbs down towards the space between your heels. And without arching back, float the arms up off your back. So keep the rib cage contained. Chin towards the chest, curl your way forwards over the legs. If your low back is singing, bend the knees. Then slide the thumbs up towards the ceiling. So thumb sides of the hands slide up towards the ceiling. Again, looking to access that inner seam of the arms. Release the hands all the way down. Bring them to the shins, lift halfway up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Walk forward, downward facing dog. Recreate that sense of strength and stability through the upper arms. So like you're wrapping the triceps and outer shoulders down towards the floor, inwards towards each other. At the same time, press the palms of the hands forward. Feel your torso moving back towards your thighs. Rise up high onto the balls of the feet, look forward and step to the top of the mat. Take as many steps as you need. Lift halfway up once you get there and fold forward, exhale. Reach to the side, take an inhale, rise all the way up, and with your right hand, take your left wrist, hinge over to the right side. Rest the head on the lower arm, lift your gaze towards the ceiling, but contain the front ribs. Inhale back up through center, change hands, exhale, hinge left. Inhale back up through center, half sun salutations, exhale, and fold over the legs. Feel free to bend the knees. Lift halfway up, lengthen, breathe in. A deeper forward fold, exhale. Reach to the sides, rise up, breathe in. Hands come down through the heart center, breathe out. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Lift halfway up, breathe in. Fold forward, exhale. Reach to the sides, rise up, inhale. Hands to the heart center, breathe out. From the top of your mat, shift the weight into the left foot. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. So right into some serious standing postures, leading with Warrior C. So you're already starting to balance. Now hinge at the hips and press your right foot back. Point the toes down towards the floor. Press your heel back and straighten out that left leg as much as you can without locking the knee. So try to feel that you are engaging the upper thigh muscles. Start to bend into the left knee. Slowly and with control, step the right foot all the way back. Plant your heel, rise up to Warrior B, arms outstretched. As wide of a space as you like with the legs. Of course, wider is harder. Take the left arm across your chest, right arm comes underneath, stretching out the left shoulder. Drop the left shoulder down away from the ear, bend into the front knee. And release the arms, take your right hand down, stretch the left arm up and along the plane of the cheek. Slide the right arm in behind your back. Squeeze that right elbow back, looking for the same sensation. Front knee moves towards the baby toe and towards alignment over the ankle. Inhale, come back up through center. Take your forearm to the thigh. Release the right hand in behind the head. Rest the weight of the head into the hand. Lift your gaze towards the ceiling. Take the arm along the plane of the cheek. Reach through the inner seam of the arm and straighten it out just as much as you can. Rise back up to warrior B with an inhale if you can hold the knee bent. Otherwise, you just straighten and come back to a bent knee. 2 more breaths. Take an inhale, rise up, straighten the front leg, pivot the toes to face the long edge of the mat, bring your hands to your hips. Heels slightly wider than the toes. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Use your thumbs to drop the tailbone towards the floor. Keep the elbows pulling in. Lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. So working the upper back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come just halfway down. Imagine that you want your elbows to touch in behind your back. So squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine. Broaden across the collarbones. Take another inhale here with a long spine, crown of the head away from the tailbone. Then just release the right fingertips to the floor or on a block and look to your left. Keep squeezing your left elbow back. Slide the left arm in behind your back. Keep squeezing the elbow back. See if you can find a stretch in through the front of that shoulder. And stretch your left arm up, release. And along the plane of your cheek, lower your hand to the floor. Pivot to face the front of the mat, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Bend your front knee into a lunge position. Keep the right hand down and finish with a twist. Stretch your left arm up. Lower your left hand down. Push off the back foot, step forward and fold. Reach to the sides, rise up, inhale. Hands down through the heart center, breathe out. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Reach to the sides, rise up, breathe in. Hands to your heart center, breathe out. Shift the weight into your right foot, lift the left knee up. Moving into the other side. Right into warrior C, hinge from the hips. Press the left toes down towards the floor, straighten out your right leg just as best as you can. Feel the quads start to warm up and engage. Slowly and with control, you'll start to bend into the right knee. Plant your left foot. Come on up, warrior B, arms outstretched. Adjust the space between your feet so that you're in a relatively comfortable position, whether that's feet further apart or not quite as far. Then attempt to squeeze the feet in towards each other and feel your inner thigh muscles engage. Take the right arm across your chest, take the left arm underneath, stretch out your right shoulder. And you want to keep softening that right shoulder away from the ear. Uncross the arms, take your left hand down, stretch the right arm up and along the plane of the cheek. So reaching from the inner seam of that arm, reach with the baby finger side. Slide the left arm in behind your back. Squeeze your left elbow back. Rise back up through center, take the forearm to the thigh. Release the left arm, hand comes in behind the head, rest the weight of your head into your hand. Skin of the scalp, drawing towards that side wall as you lift your gaze towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing the heels towards each other. Take the arm along the plane of the cheek. And finally, rise up on your inhale. Drive down with the front heel, arms outstretched if you can. Hold for 3, otherwise straighten and rebend the knee. Straighten out the leg, turn the toes in, facing the long edge of your mat. Interlace your hands behind you. Take the awkward interlacing of your hands. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other so elbows are bent. Take the tops of the thumbs, press the tailbone down towards the floor. Stretch in through the front of the shoulders. With the elbows still bent, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Lift your gaze towards the sky. And come back up through center. Fold forward just halfway. Straighten out the arms, reach the knuckles of the hands towards the back wall, reach the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Lift the arms up as high as you comfortably can. And drop your left fingertips to the floor. Slide the right arm in behind your back. Roll the right shoulder and elbow back. Rotate to face the side wall. Stretch the right arm up. And along the plane of the cheek, reach, reach. Lower the fingertips down. Turn to face the short edge of your mat. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Bend into the front knee. Finish with the twist. Stretch your right arm up. Inhale. And lower the hand down. Push off the back foot. Step to the top of the mat. And fold over the legs. Round your way up through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down once you get there. From the top of the mat, moving on. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale and fold over the legs. Lift halfway up, breathe in. Forward fold again, exhale. Take the hands to the knees and bend the knees, Utkatasana. Draw the chest through the gate of the arms, a baby back bend, breathe. Round the spine, scoop your tailbone under, chin to the chest, exhale. Arching on the inhale, draw the chest through the arms. Exhale and round. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Come to stand. And we'll move into eagle pose, Garudasana. Balancing pose, quite a challenging one. You can take your left arm across your chest. So we did this in Warrior B. Cross the right elbow underneath. Cross the forearms and see if the palms of the hands will meet. If not, just pressing the backs of the arms together is fine, or even giving yourself a hug. Bend into the knees again, Utkatasana style. Draw the hips forward, no pinching in the lower back. Come up onto the ball of the right foot. Squeeze your forearms together, focus your gaze. Cross the right leg on top of the left one. If the toes come to the floor, you can use them for a little bit of balance. Classical posture, however, is a fairly deep bend in the knees and the toes tucking in behind the calf muscle. Hold for 3. Uncross the legs, stand up, uncross the arms, reach up, breathe in. And exhale, release the arms down, slide the right arm across your chest. Left elbow beneath the right one. Maybe give yourself a hug or cross the forearms. Bring the palms of the hands together. Shoulder blades now separating away from the spine as you squeeze both the forearms and the elbows into each other. And bend the knees. Lower belly in, gaze focus. Rise up, ball of the left foot. Cross the left leg on top of the right. Maybe the toes graze the mat for balance. It's tricky because if the arms are in the way, you have to find a place to look by shifting the arms a little from one side or to the other. And then if you want that classic variation, tuck the toes in behind the calf muscles, squeeze everything together, inner thighs, inner knees, forearms and elbows, hold for 3. Uncross the legs, uncross the arms, reach up, breathe in. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway up, breathe in. Again, forward fold, breathe out. Step back, downward facing dog. And take your knees to the mat. Slide your left knee just an inch or 2 behind the right one. Root down through the left hand with an inhale, reach your right arm up. Slide the right arm in behind your left one. Not a typical thread the needle though. Shift the hips back towards the heels, slide your left arm further forward, and think about drawing the forehead to the earth rather than the ear. So the nose moves down towards the mat. Hips are sliding back. Back of the right shoulder releases towards the earth. It may not get there. So it's a slightly different stretch for that shoulder. And push into your left hand, slide the right arm through, take the hands side by side and the knees side by side. Walk your right knee back a couple of inches. Root down through the right hand, take an inhale and stretch your left arm up. Slide the left arm in behind your right one. Start to slide the hips back at the same time as you walk the right hand forward. Remember, nose or forehead towards the mat, not the ear. And gently press the left shoulder down. And push into your right hand, slide your left arm through. Bring the knees side by side and then shift your weight back towards your heels. Arms can be reaching overhead, but if you can, take them alongside of the body with the palms facing up. You could rest the forehead on your mat or onto a block if you have one. And feel your shoulder blades move away from the spine as the front of the shoulders drop down towards the earth. There's an There's a widening across the upper back. Soften and relax the hands and the belly, and just feel nice and heavy with every exhale. And slide the hands under the shoulders, press into your palms, lift the head up, swing your legs over to the right side. Face forward, but take your right leg out to the side. Take the left foot to the inner right thigh. You want the knees kind of as wide apart as they will go. This leg isn't straight ahead, but it's as far out to the side as you will go. If you can, push into the hands and sort of tilt the pelvis forward, which allows the spine to release forward. And you can just start to creep the hands forward. Look for a stretch in through the hips. Keep the sitting bones grounded and the right thigh internally rotated. So that right inner thigh releases towards the floor, and you're stretching and lengthening along the inner seam of the leg, just as you did with the arms. And you may not even need to walk forward. Maybe you're feeling something right here. But if you're looking for more sensation, then that's one way to find it. And then walk the torso towards your right leg. But stretch especially with the left fingertips. Keep creeping the fingertips towards that side wall with the left hand. And the right hand is along the inside of the leg. Take the left hand in behind the head, supporting the weight of your head. Draw the gaze towards the side wall or start to rotate your torso any amount towards the ceiling. Then push into your lower hand, come on up for a gentle twist facing left. Take the right hand to the left leg and twist. Unwind back to center and extend both legs out to the sides. If you can tilt the pelvis forward, then use the fingertips by the outer hips to guide you into a deeper stretch. Upavishta Konasana, wide angle pose. And you can use your hands to widen the space between the feet if that helps. Now, instead of letting the head drop down towards the floor, here you're challenged to strengthen the muscles of the neck by just creating a sense of the face receding gently away from the floor. So a little bit less eagerness through the muscles of the face. Imagine there's a string attached to the center of the back of the skull, sort of drawing you slightly back. And the arms or hands can come to the inside, or you might reach for the outer edges of the feet or hold on to the legs, any comfortable position. You could take the forearms onto a block here, and we'll hold for 5 breaths. And walk your way back up to center. Use your right hand under the right knee to bend the knee and take the right foot to the inner left thigh. And then taking the knees sort of as wide apart as they will go, you might use the hands to help with that action. No pain or tension in the knees at all. Make sure you adjust if there is, and just start to walk the fingertips forward as far as you might need to in order to feel a stretch. Internal rotation of the left thigh. Reach from the mound of the big toe and soften the inner thigh towards the earth. Walk your way towards your left leg. Use the right fingertips especially to creep that hand as far forward as it will go. Now take the left hand to the inside of that leg. Spin the right arm in behind you to rest the weight of your head into your hand. Draw the skin of the scalp towards the side wall and start to rotate the torso very gently as though laying that bottom rib cage along the center of the thigh. So you can imagine the crown of the head moving towards the top of the foot. And push into your lower hand, rise up. A very gentle twist to the right as the left hand comes to the right knee to rotate the torso around. Unwind back to center. Take the left hand under the knee so you can bend the left knee and take the soles of the feet together. Fold forward. And then if you want to let the head just kind of hang here, go for it. Come on back to center and either cross the legs or have your legs extended straight out in front. Interlace your hands behind you, roll the shoulders back and down, reach the knuckles of the hands all the way down towards the floor behind you. Bring a little bit of weight into the knuckles of the hands, which are pressing into the mat. So hands are interlaced, knuckles of the hands towards the floor, you're shifting slightly back. Then bend the elbows and squeeze your elbows in towards each other again, working the rhomboid muscles of the mid-back. Maybe you feel a stretch along the front of the shoulders. Now maybe you press the knuckles of the hands into the earth and lift the chest slightly towards the sky. Keep bending the elbows, keep squeezing them in towards each other. And lift back up to neutral. Then tuck the hands in towards your right rib cage. Draw the right ear towards the shoulder. Drop the left elbow down towards the earth. Then adjust the position of the head so that you will find a deeper stretch along the left side of the neck. So you may tuck the chin in, or you may draw it towards your inner right shoulder, or maybe you lift it up slightly towards the ceiling. Everybody would have tightness in the neck in a different region. So kind of find those pockets of tension for yourself and hold for 3 breaths. Come back up to center and take the awkward interlacing of your hands behind you. If your legs are straight, keep them straight, but if they're bent, uncross and recross with the other shin in front. Shift the weight back into the knuckles of the hands. Doesn't have to be a whole lot of weight, but you're leaning back slightly. Bend the elbows deeply, squeeze them in towards each other. Then start to press into the hands, downwards into the floor. That rebounding energy lifts your heart center towards the sky. And come back up to center. Tuck the hands in towards your left rib cage. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Draw the left ear towards the shoulder. Adjust the position of the head as needed. And return to neutral. Release the arms. Find your way to the top of the mat. You might find the block useful, so have it accessible. Bring the arms alongside of the body. Tuck the chin into the chest. Curl your way down in a C shape with the spine, one vertebra at a time. Bring the right knee in with you. Interlace your hands around the right leg. Press the left heel forward. Now keep drawing the shoulders away from the ears as you tug the knee in closer. So the elbows are bent. Drop them in towards your rib cage, not flaring out to the sides. Shoulders away from the ears, and you use the bicep muscles as you tug the knee in a little bit closer. And stretch your right arm out on the floor. Use your left hand to guide the knee over to the left. Then you can either look to the left, to the ceiling, or over to the right, whichever your neck happens to prefer. And come back to center. Push into your right foot, shift your hips to the left, take the left knee in, interlace your hands around the left leg, straighten out the right one, press forward with the right heel, drop the shoulders away from the ears, tuck the elbows in towards your torso so you feel nice and compact through the upper body. And reach your left arm out. Use the right hand, guide the knee over to the right, and you choose in which direction you will look, to the right, to the ceiling, or over to the left. And come back to center. Push into your left foot, shift your hips to the right so you are evenly aligned. Take the block underneath your tailbone if you have one. If you don't, do the same exercise, soles of the feet up towards the sky without the block. Viparita Karani with a modification, so legs up the wall pose, but without the wall. If you do have a wall that you want to bring the legs up against, that feels just magical. It is so restful, restorative, and rejuvenating. And bring your awareness to your breath. Allow the breath to deepen. So science now tells us that the breath is a direct entry point to regulating the nervous system. Long, smooth, deep, and even inhalation, sending fresh oxygen throughout the body. And a long, smooth, deep, and even exhale, allowing you to release toxins. And lower down onto the balls of the feet. If you've got a block, slide it out to the side. Hips to the earth, walk the feet forward, Shavasana. So close the eyes and take whatever you need to feel as comfortable as you can for these last few minutes. Truly a key aspect of the practice. Again, if you have something soft to slide under the head, use that. If you have any low back sensitivities, then maybe have feet flat on the floor, drop the knees in towards each other. Classic Shavasana, legs are straight, hip width and maybe even mat width distance apart. And to calm the mind, remind yourself that there's nowhere else that you need to be, nothing else that needs to be done. You have carved out this time in your schedule exclusively for the practice of yoga. Relax the hands and feet. Smoothing out the skin on the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Relax all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Soften the ankles, shins, and knees. Feel the upper thigh muscles soften and relax. Broaden across the pelvis. Send the tailbone in the direction of the heels. Allow the buttocks muscles to widen. Feel the breath in the mid-back, back ribs moving towards the earth. Broaden the collarbones, allow the backs of the shoulders to release. And feel the heavy weight of your head on the earth. Soften the cranial bones, cheekbones, and jaw. Unclench the teeth. Mentally repeat, right here, right now, exactly as things are, I am at peace, I am content, integrating the benefits of my practice. And bring your awareness to your breath. Start to breathe more deeply. Awaken the body, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Inhale through the nose, extend the arms overhead, lengthen the spine, point the toes, and through the mouth, exhale. Bring the knees to the chest. And rock and roll forward and back and side to side. Find your way back to a seated cross-legged position with the eyes closed and the hands together at the heart center. And we'll seal our practice with the sound of Om. Take a conscious breath in